It wasn't all good news, though, for the SEC, so we got to kick it down to UCLA, where in the Rose Bowl here, man, this was the biggest shocker for me in the entire SEC week one right out the gate. It looked like the same old LSU defense to me because UCLA had their way with Coach O's program here, 38-27, and I mean the second half just dominated by UCLA. Yeah. So many miscues for LSU in this one. I mean, Max Johnson, he was, I don't want to put it all on him, but a lot of his passes were off the mark, I thought, in this game. That behind the back pass was incredibly stupid. They got to get that out of him. But I think the most disturbing thing in this whole thing, Shane, is Coach O. I'm not throwing him on the hot seat like I've seen so many people do here, but when you think of Coach O, you think of tough, physical, line of scrimmage play, and UCLA just dominated on the line of scrimmage. We heard so much hype about the LSU defensive line, and that's why everybody was saying in camp that the offensive line was getting manhandled. You thought it was because this defensive line was so spectacular, but hell, maybe the defensive line isn't even that good, and the offensive line is pathetic because that's kind of what it looked like here against UCLA. What do you your takeaway from this one?
Yeah, for starters, I want to apologize for Vandy fans because I singled them out. I forgot that LSU. I almost wanted. You want to talk about annoying? Here, I kept hearing that bell ringing when I was going to bed that night. It's like I felt like I was still out there in that damn Rose Bowl. But this game had me frustrated from the beginning, and it's like you said, this isn't the LSU team that we're used to, that we grew up watching, the tough defenses, the ability to run on anybody. It felt like they just had they didn't, the trenches, man, they just had no help. There was nothing. And it felt like that's kind of why Max Johnson got in this shootout, because he felt like it was all him. Like him and Butte, they're the only ones that are out there that are going to make this thing happen. And unfortunately, they just couldn't get it. They just couldn't get it.
No, and we do. Let's give a shout out to Keyshawn Butte. Because he was outstanding. He looked like the All-American that he is. 9 catches, 148, 3 touchdowns. He did have a drop that was kind of big in the game, but hell, when he gets you 3 touchdowns, you give him a little leeway for a drop here or there. But that's about all. I mean, Elias Ricks, he had a really nice interception. Stingley made some good plays, but I just go back to this defense, man, that they couldn't defend. It just seems like the linebackers are lost. Chip Kelly certainly figured something out, and he just had his way with the LSU defense, and that is something that Coach O kind of had to answer for after this one.
Last year, obviously, you mentioned like miscommunications and things like that caused the defensive issues. Was it similar stuff tonight or something different that you noticed on that side of the ball?
We had some similar stuff, crossing routes, missed assignments. Those things continue to haunt us and hurt us. We have to get them fixed. I thought that we did a pretty good job in camp of getting them fixed, but obviously we've got to look at what we're doing and still eliminate those crossing routes and those busting coverage and why we busted them. And then also eliminate having an open gap in the run defense. Now, whether we got knocked off the ball or it's an open gap, I need to look at it on film.
Judging from the running game, what you saw in preseason scrimmages, is this kind of what you maybe feared tonight would happen? I mean, you just didn't get nothing from the running game.
I agree. First of all, we got to be more diverse. We have to have multiple runs for multiple sets, which we didn't do tonight. We got to get that fixed. It's going to get fixed immediately. We got to be more physical at the point of attack. Neither of those things happened tonight as far as what I could see. But again, I need to look at the film before I say anything about physicality, a point of attack. I just need to look at the film.
Ed, how do you explain losing the line of scrimmage on both sides against a team like UCLA that's really not known for playing physical football?
Yeah, well, first of all, they play physical football, and they've gotten a better offensive line. They got 2 good running backs that are very physical. So tonight they played physical football, but that doesn't mean that it's any excuse for not playing physical. We should have been better. We should have been better on both sides of the football, and we weren't.
All right, Shed. Yeah, and I forgot even, there's so many issues here. We forgot to even mention the damn LSU rushing attack. I mean, 25 carries, 48 yards, less than 2 yards. And again, you're going up against UCLA. I mean, I don't think there may not be a player on UCLA's roster that Coach O would take over somebody he's got on his roster. You know what I mean? So they've got to get this thing corrected here. And they've got 2 weeks to do it. They got 2 cupcakes upcoming. And, the only silver lining here, and it's not much of one, but hell, based on what we've seen from UCLA, hell, maybe they're one of the better teams in the country because they have looked good the last the first 2 weeks of the season. But I know that's not going to make LSU fans too. That's not going to give them much joy thinking of that.
No, but I do think that was definitely I don't know, maybe an advantage. The fact that they had the tune-up game against Hawaii before they played. So I don't want to play the blame game or anything like that, but there was some definite issues on there, and it was pointed out, a lot of communication breakdown. I don't know if we're in full-blown panic just yet as an LSU because they do have 2 cupcake games coming up, but my eyebrows are raised. I'm going to tell you right now, and that seat's getting a little warmer down there in Baton Rouge, Mike.